Welcome to PoliTalk, the radio show to go to get the most up-to-date and unbiased information on politics. Featuring candid interviews with candidates and elected officials will keep you informed this election season. On this week's episode, we will be understanding our guest standings on various social issues that our country is facing, as well as their take on foreign policies.
Thank you for tuning in to our third episode. I am your co-host, Rebecca.
And I'm your other co-host, Wendy. This week, we will be getting to know our guests, NARAL Representative Anika Rahman and Kamala Harris. First, we welcome Anika to our show.
Introduce yourself. What is your name and what interest group are you representing? What is the goal of your organization?
Hi, everyone. I am Anika Rahman, and I'm representing NARAL Pro-Choice America. This stands for the National Association for the Repeal of Abortion Laws. The goal of our organization is to fight to expand access to abortion, increase the affordability of birth control, end pregnancy discrimination in the workplace, and protect paid family leave.
So before we go into the following questions, can you first explain what pro-choice means?
Sure. Pro-choice means that a woman should have the right to choose if, when, and with whom she wants to start a family.
Which candidates do you support in this election season?
We endorse former Vice President Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Max Rose, and Donovan Richards.
Thank you. So the phrase, my body, my choice, has been used during the pandemic by people who refuse to wear masks. What is your opinion on this phrase being used in this way?
Using the phrase, my body, my choice, has been misconstrued in this context. This phrase has been used to stand up for women and their right to reproductive freedom. Saying my body, my choice for not wearing masks during a global pandemic is careless and disrespectful.
The Republican Party has made efforts to overturn the Roe v. Wade case. What is your organization's stance on this issue?
NARAL is against Roe v. Wade being overturned. We strongly believe that Roe v. Wade is essential in protecting the reproductive rights of American women. We have joined 150 civil rights and public interest groups calling for the Senate to be against the confirmation of Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett.
Lastly, is there anything else you would like to tell us about? Also, you can take this time to plug any of your social media or events that you have planned.
Make sure you enter a quick Google form quiz that's going to be sent out on Friday the 23rd at 5 p.m. For just one SimBuck, you'll have the opportunity to win a 57-ounce bag of candy containing Kit Kats, Reese's, Sour Patch, and Swedish Fish. Whoever gets all questions right first wins the candy. Also, be sure to follow us on our Instagram page at naral.4.thhs, and don't forget to like and comment on our posts.
Thank you for coming on to our show, Anika.
Thank you for having me.
Next up, we have Kamala Harris joining on our show. Please introduce yourself. What's your name, party, and position you are running for?
My name is Kamala Harris, and I'm a Democrat running for Vice President.
Thank you for your introduction. Moving on to the questions. Do you support the Black Lives Matter movement and its efforts to defund the police? If elected, how will you work to end systematic racism and address police brutality?
Yes, of course, I support the Black Lives Matter movement. Jonah are committed to rooting out the racism embedded in our criminal justice system. That starts with preventing and reducing incarcerated populations via a $20 billion grant program Joe plans to start as president, and expanding the Justice Department to address systematic police misconduct.
Thank you. Recently, a Supreme Court Judge, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, unfortunately passed away. This has sparked huge controversy on who should appoint the next judge. What is your stance on the situation with the Supreme Court? Will you pack the court?
Joe and I have been very clear that we do not feel that this is the appropriate time to have this discussion. If you really want to know about packing the court, do you know that the Trump administration has nominated 50 people to the Federal Court of Appeals, and not one is Black? I think this conversation is kind of a distraction from real issues at hand.
Thank you for your response. In the interest of time, we'll move on to the next topic, abortion. You have said that you support Roe versus Wade and that you will work to codify this ruling into law. Can you elaborate on how you will go about doing this?
Sure, of course. We're going to require that states have a history of restricting abortion rights to women to obtain clearance from the Department of Justice before they can pass laws on women's reproductive rights. Joe and I are going to do everything in our power to stop state laws violating Roe versus Wade and protect women's reproductive rights.
Thank you. Moving on to the topic of foreign policy. In 2018, Donald Trump removed the U.S. from the 2015 Iran nuclear deal. Does the Biden administration plan on going back into the plan? Why or why not?
The Biden administration planned going back in. The administration would re-enter the deal if Iran returns to compliance, though we would need help from the other JCPOA signatories, including our rivals Russia and China. It won't be easy, but the Biden administration promised you that it will be a significant initiative to get back into the deal.
Is there anything else you would like to tell us about? Also, you can take this time to plug any of your social media or events you have planned.
Make sure to follow us on THHS Kamala Harris and look out for our future shout-out and gift card giveaways. Make sure to vote Biden Harris 2020 on Election Day.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me on the show.
Now we'll begin the Simbox segment. Your teacher will record the names of the students who answer correctly and email them. Remember, there can only be one winner per question. Now, let's begin. Question 1. What year was same-sex marriage legalized for all 50 states? The correct answer is, in 2015, the Supreme Court removed all state bans on same-sex marriages in the landmark Oberfegel v. Hodges case. The court ruled that under the Due Process Clause and the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, the protection of the right to marry applies to same-sex couples. Question 2. Who is the Secretary of State and what is the job of the Secretary of State? The correct answer is, the current Secretary of State is Mike Pompeo, and his job is to carry out the President's foreign policies through the State Department and Foreign Service of the United States. Question 3. What is the NCS and what are they responsible for? The answer is, the NCS stands for the National Security Council and is the President's principal forum for considering national security and foreign policy matters with his senior national security advisors and cabinet officials. It also serves as the principal arm for coordinating policies among various government agencies. On to question 4. What is the 2003 Women's Right to Know Act? The correct answer is, the 2003 Women's Right to Know Act empowers women with basic factual information prior to undergoing abortion. It requires that 24 hours before an abortion, a woman must receive the following information: the medical risks associated with the abortion, the gestation age of the unborn child, and the medical assistance benefits and child support payments available to her. And that's it for this week's episode of Polytalk, featuring Pro-Choice America and Kamala Harris. Thank you to our candidates and thank you for tuning in. Make sure to come back next week for more Poly Talks. Until then, stay talking politics with Poly Talk.